Howdy, y'all. This is Proverbs 23 in the ESV for June 23, 2023. When you sit down to eat with a ruler, observe carefully what is before you, and put a knife to your throat if you're given an appetite. Do not desire his delicacies for their deceptive food. Do not toil to acquire wealth, and be discerning enough to desist. When your eyes light on it, it's gone, for suddenly it sprouts wings, flying like an eagle towards heaven. Do not eat the bread of a man who is stingy, and do not desire his delicacies, for he is like one who is inwardly calculating. Eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart is not with you. You will vomit up the morsels that you've eaten and waste your pleasant words. Do not speak in the hearing of a fool, for he will despise the good sense of your words. Do not move an ancient landmark or enter the fields of the fatherless, for their Redeemer is strong, and he will plead their cause against you. Apply your heart to instruction and your ears to words of knowledge. Do not withhold discipline from a child. If you strike him with a rod, he will not die. If you strike him with a rod, you will save a soul from Sheol. My son, if your heart is wise, my heart too will be glad. My inmost being will exult when your lips speak what is right. Let not your heart envy sinners, but continue in the fear of the Lord all the day. Surely there is a future, and your hope will not be cut off. Hear, my son, and be wise, and direct your heart in the way. Be not among drunkards, or among gluttons, eaters of meat, for the drunkard and the glutton will come to poverty, and slumber will clothe them with rags. Listen to your father who gave you life, and do not despise your mother when she is old. Buy truth, do not sell it. Buy wisdom, instruction, and understanding. The father of the righteous will greatly rejoice. He who fathers a wise son will be glad in him. Let your father and mother be glad. Let her who bore you rejoice. My son, give me your heart, and let your eyes observe my ways. For a prostitute is a deep pit, an adulteress is a narrow well. She lies in wait like a robber, and increases the traitors among mankind. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has strife? Who has complaining? Who has wounds without cause? Who has redness of the eyes? Those who tarry long over the wine, those who go to try mixed wine. Do not look at the wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup and goes down smoothly. In the end, it bites like a serpent and stings like an adder. Your eyes will see strange things, and your heart utter perverse things. You will be like one who lies down in the midst of the sea, like one who lies on the top of a mast. They struck me, you will say, but I was not hurt. They beat me, but I did not feel it. When shall I awake? I must have another drink. That's a sad condition. I'm not trying to pass judgment. I mean, I feel like you can righteously judge that, but I wouldn't want to be in that condition. Alcohol, whatever. I mean, I used to smoke tobacco a lot, lots of cigarettes. I miss them. I miss smoking, but it's not good for your body, and especially, it's one thing to roll your own cigarettes, and, that's one thing. Grow your own tobacco, roll your own cigarettes, all that. That's kind of a tradition. We've had it for a long time. Cigarettes, modern ones are like totally engineered to be addictive, and to give you like the rush of the nicotine. It is very much more a drug than it has ever been. But I don't know. I can't do it anymore. Even if I think like I'm gonna go ahead and puff on the cigarette now. I must have always been allergic to it, and I guess suppressing it by smoking, because now I just get a sinus infection, and it's not worth it. But the same way, like first thing in the morning, like, time to get a cigarette, time to have a drink. For me, it's time to get coffee, which, especially after coming off being very sick, it was amazing. The headache of caffeine withdrawal was just mixed in the general malaise, I suppose, because even days after I wasn't really looking for it, And it's definitely part of my routine. Probably more so because I typically don't eat breakfast. So the coffee is my breakfast, which is probably very terrible. Okay. But, could live without it. Do live without it, especially mornings when I'm running late and we have to get out to work. Oh, excuse me. One of those nights, already past midnight, and watching a cat trot by too. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in service to that. And just thinking about laying down and having to hold on to the ground because everything's spinning. That's what it's talking about, laying down in the midst of the sea or on top of the mast, right? Because as the sea sways, your more exaggerated motions, when you're walking, and just your general feeling. Oh. I don't want to think about that feeling. Not cool. Self-control when you're in front of people, especially important people, especially the first time you've been with those people, which, kind of sucks. Like if you go to a churrasco, you want to go ham right on the steaks and delicious stuff, but you don't want to be puking, so you need to show some restraint. And there's also something about like being in the cool kids and the haves, and then have-not shows up and it's like, they got shrimp, and you're going like too ham on the shrimp, right, or the steak or whatever, and it's like, it's not a good look for the people that are used to always having those luxuries. Just a thought. And the admonition to, get wealth, but stop, at some point, because it's not going to last forever. And just when you think you've got it, it's gone. Suddenly sprouts wings, flying like an eagle towards heaven, or you have a sudden expense and you got to pay for that, and it's gone. The stingy man, I understand a little bit less of what they're saying is going on here. I get it about like he's calculating, what it's worth and things like that, but why are you vomiting it up? It's a little bit weird. I'm missing something here, some nuance. Because I feel like I get it, and then I think about it more, and it's like, maybe I don't get this. So I got kiddos all day, been cleaning and just hanging out with the kiddos, and yeah, man, you gotta give your kids a discipline. You lack of discipline and giving it to them will definitely end your kids dead or in jail or worse. So let them cry. Yeah, I'm a big meanie head sometimes, but trying to teach them what is right, how to act right, what to do. And I mess up. I go overboard today. I try to make a point with somebody, and a point was taken, but then he was upset. So but I definitely understand the feeling. If your heart is wise, my heart too will be glad. I want to have a kid that makes me proud, and when I hear him say things, make me smile. So drunkards and gluttons, so people who just go overboard, right, and too excessive and chase that high or that fullness or that experience at all costs. That's why they're coming to poverty, I'm supposing. And as usual, 23, hey, 23, buy truth and do not sell it, buy wisdom and instruction and understanding. So he who fathers a wise son will be glad in him. This is exactly what I'm talking about, like being able to be proud of my son, and just being able to be proud of my son, not for any particular thing, but just for the way that they conduct themselves and how they think, their relationship with the Lord. And then I've already spoken about the alcohol part, but right here, the prostitute's a deep pit and adulteress is a narrow well. So I just want to say today, like, what was her name? It was a baby, I think it was baby Jessica, right? I just heard more on that story today, or like a refresher. A little girl fell down a well when we were younger, and her right leg went back up behind her and ended up like behind her head. And she was stuck in an 8-inch pipe. Maybe that, about 8 inches. Was she 3? Anyway, went down the pipe, right leg, shoe must have got caught, and then it folded up behind her, and she was stuck and had her foot like here for 2 days. So horrible, just horrible. And the point of that is the prostitute's a deep pit and adulteress is a narrow well. Hard to get out of, right? Prostitute's one thing, because yes, I guess there's danger of disease. I mean, it's got to be, right? People, I don't know, I don't understand. It's like I've kind of joked with some friends that have had some experience there, and it's just kind of all part of the joke about the disease and stuff. So I don't get it. There must be something in like it's a gamble, it's okay kind of thing. Like we're all in the club. I don't understand it. But let's just say there's that part of it, and then if you do it in secret and you get a disease or you knock her up, there's all that. And then there's the whole, like, a deep pit of money, right? Drunkards, gluttonous, if you're going and spending your time and money with all these women, over time, we get older and less desirable, and we're going to spend more money to get more affection and attention, and we're going to have less money. So it's a feedback loop here. It's not a good one. And same thing like the adulteress, right? Maybe all funny games until you're trapped. Can't get out. Can't say anything to either person. So you're just kind of stuck, right? You don't want to be in this situation anymore. But you can't come clean about the situation. So eventually, somebody else, firefighters, everybody else, God, has to pull you out of that situation. Let's not even chase that metaphor or that analogy. That's just going to keep breaking down. But I don't know, just something that sticks out to me today since I heard about that. The narrow well, like an 8-inch pipe. That's a narrow well. We think of a well like big stone thing, right? Wishing well. No, when a well, like when we drill, or maybe not modern, but slightly less modern times, not primitive, you would have, a borehole and a well and a casing. So, oh man, beware of wells. Tell your kids to watch out for wells. I remember everybody was upset about that back in the day. Is that 95? Man, getting old. Maybe older than that. Maybe it was 93. I don't know. Now I'm truly rambling. 14 minutes. I don't even know what study value I've brought to anybody today, but I hope something. So go with God. Make your parents proud.